Hello everyone, this is Angela here, and jumping back online to talk a little bit more about sex and the narcissist and love bombing and who is most at risk for love bombing and how to recognize it and nip it in the bud. Okay, I'm going to explain a few stories that will support my last video to where these stories are about vulnerable guys. Actually, these were men who actually suffered bad fate by getting involved with a psychopath and being love bombed by them. And I want to explain how they were most at risk and why this happened. The first story is the Travis Alexander Jodi Arias story. Allegedly, Travis Alexander was a very religious man who, was a virgin. And what had happened in his story, okay, was the fact that he had met Jodi Arias at a legal convention in Las Vegas. He was promoting this prepaid legal thing, and she was there, and he was totally smitten by her. And what had happened was they had sex that night. Okay, and there you go. Classic example. Had sex too soon, and it all went downhill from there. So if you want to check out the story about Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander, you can Google it online. She was a malignant narcissist who had borderline personality disorder. Another story I watched last night was a story about a guy who was in his 20s. He was a father of 2 children, married, and his wife was tragically killed in an automobile accident. And he ended up getting involved with a predator who love bombed him, making him food and trying to be sympathetic to him. This man was grieving. Okay, so she love bombed him, and because he was in his grief and in a very vulnerable position, he had slept with her, like didn't even know her, and within not even 8 months she's pregnant and they got married. That particular story ended very tragically because the narcissist has this magical thinking and unrealistic perception of what real relationships are about. So once the facade wore off and reality set in, this woman basically was in an unhappy marriage because it didn't fulfill her expectations. And ultimately that story ended tragically because he ended up being shot and killed by 3 teenagers that this woman had seduced because she was a school teacher. And that ended tragically. Another story, Stephen Watkins' story. Stephen Watkins fell in love with this woman named Jennifer Webster. I talked about his story on some of my other videos. And he was a single father, alienated. What had happened was he was a single father, met this woman. She seemed so perfect, too perfect. Very clannish with her grandmother and family, very wealthy family she came from, very spoiled, and love bombed him and his child. He thought he had met the perfect woman. After they got married very fast, didn't even know her 3 months, marries her, and next thing you know, he's not happy because the mask slipped off. They ended up separating, after she had his baby. And then that ended tragically because she saw that baby as her own personal property. So he was a victim of parent alienation. He was fighting for his custodial rights, goes into his estranged wife's house, and the estranged wife's grandmother, Shirley Skinner, shot and killed her. So basically what I'm saying is these are all prime examples of why you should take your time and not sleep with a person that you do not know. You need whether this person Okay, love bombing and people pleasing are both toxic people to get involved with. Although a people pleaser is not like a narcissist, it's not like love bombing. These people, which I was one of these people, has emotional issues that they have not, resolved, and they're too mentally unhealthy to be in a happy relationship. That's just my opinion, okay? Now, these predators target people that are vulnerable, like that guy that was a widower, people that are in the low form of their life, and then they go overboard. So how do you recognize love bombing? Well, it's not really that difficult, okay? If you're dating someone and that person is inappropriately doing over-the-top wonderful things for you, and you just met them, okay, this is not appropriate. Like, for example, let's say I met a guy and he's bringing me flowers and chocolates on every date, and he's taking me to the mall and he's buying me, clothes and shoes and all this stuff. This is not appropriate for somebody that you just meet. Okay, you want to go out to dinner with that person. You want to go for coffee with that person. You want to relax with that person. If these people, there's no such thing. My philosophy is there's no such thing as a free gift. Okay, there's some type of ulterior motive behind these gifts. So my advice would be, if somebody is over the top, they just met you, you only went on 3 dates, and they're already lavishing you with expensive things, and it doesn't even have to be expensive. It could be something as simple as cards with strong feelings, like and everything. This is not appropriate for somebody that you just met. If they tell you that they love you and you only went on 6 dates, this is not appropriate. Okay, they're exploiting you. They're getting into your psyche. And you need to set that boundary and say, listen, okay, it's very lovely that you're giving me all these things, but I just met you. And a healthy person will pull away from that, okay? Healthy person will pull away from that. Take the time to get to know somebody. If you are just coming out of a relationship, give yourself time to grieve that relationship. Let's say you lost a spouse, or you were, with somebody for a long time and they passed away. Give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself time to nourish your needs. That's what I'm trying to point out to you, because they know, they can sense when you are, at a vulnerable position in your life, and if you allow them in, a tragedy can happen. And I don't want to see that happen to you all. I mean, I wish I had this wisdom and this knowledge back when I was in my 20s or even my 30s. I'm turning 50 this year, and I've learned so much from this community, by other people sharing their experiences, and I'm trying to share my experiences. And the key is the boundaries, okay? The boundaries is how you survive the love bombing. Don't accept it. Don't fall for it. Nothing is a free gift. If somebody wants to do something nice for you, let's say if it's a female and your husband died and this guy's coming around, out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's fixing everything around your house. He doesn't know you. You have to ask yourself, why is he doing this? I don't know this person. Is he being nice, or is he love bombing me? You got to take a step back, and you got to evaluate a situation to protect yourself from being victimized. And the main thing is to not accept anything over the top, and do not give all of yourself to somebody that you just met. So with that said, I want to end this video, and I want to just say, I hope that what I'm saying here helps somebody. And be safe out here. Take care, and good luck.